everyone, so it's me again, and for today, and on this video, I will be talking about dietary guidelines and food guides. Okay, so this is actually something that you already know something about because I have grouped you, okay, and I have actually assigned a particular dietary guideline or food guide, okay, for you to make an infographics. Okay, so this is just more of an elaboration, and I will be like maybe correct your misconceptions or add more facts or give you an idea as to how you can apply these guidelines or these food guides, okay, into clinical practice. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here are the dietary guidelines and food guides which I will be discussing. Okay, first is from US and Canada, we have the USDA food guide and the My Plate. And then from the Philippines, of course, we have the nutritional guidelines for Filipinos, the daily nutritional guide pyramid, and then we have the Pinggang Pinoy. And I will also be discussing about food composition tables and the food exchange list. Okay, so let's get started with the USDA food guide. Okay. Okay, so while DRI values set nutrient intake goals, the dietary guidelines for American offer food-based strategies to achieve them. Okay, so you have to remember also that the primary audience for this one, your dietary guidelines, are the policymakers, okay, not your general public, okay, as well as the nutritionists and the health professionals. Okay, so this is something that the general public or an ordinary citizen cannot grasp, or this is not so understandable for them. Okay, so this cannot be used as a teaching tool. People who follow the dietary guidelines, that is, those who do not overcome calories, who take in enough a variety of nutrient dense foods and beverages, and who make physical activity a habit, often enjoy the best health possible. Okay, so this is like the promise, okay, of your dietary guidelines for Americans. Okay, so what are the key recommendations? Okay, so this is actually this describes your eating, your healthy eating pattern. Okay, so it should include a variety of vegetables from all the subgroups, fruits, especially whole fruits, grains, um, at least half of which are whole grains, and then fat-free or low-fat dairy, including milk, yogurt, cheese, and or fortified beverages, a variety of protein foods, and of course your oil, preferably oils from healthy sources like from vegetable sources. And then it should limit saturated fats and trans fats, added sugars, and sodium. Consume less than 2,300 milligrams per day or sodium. Consume less than 10% of calories per day from added sugars. And if alcohol is consumed, it should be consumed in moderation. And consume less than 10% of calories per day from saturated fats. Okay, so these are the key recommendations, and this is like the description of your healthy eating pattern. Okay, so here are your, this is the 2015 to 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans. So actually, they update this like every 5 years. Okay, so which means that probably next year they will be releasing another set of guidelines. Okay, so let's discuss this one by one. So first is number one, follow a healthy eating pattern across lifespan. Okay, so which means that every meal and all food and beverages that you choose will always matter. Okay, and you should always choose, like in every meal, you should choose a healthy eating pattern at an appropriate calorie level to help achieve and maintain a healthy body weight, support nutrient adequacy, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. Okay. Next is focus on variety, nutrient density, and amount. Okay, so the variety here will ensure that you will be able to get the different nutrients that you need. Okay, and nutrient density, of course, means that you should choose foods that is nutrient dense. Okay, lesser in calories but high in nutrients. And of course the amount. Okay, so the amount should just be adequate, not too much, but not also below the recommended. And then limit calories from added sugars and saturated fat, and reduce sodium intake. Okay, because this is actually linked to lifestyle related diseases like your hypertension and of course your diabetes mellitus. And then number four, shift to healthier food and beverage choices. Okay, so like for instance, if you are having lunch and you are actually craving for a coke. Okay, so you would change your mind and you would choose like healthier choices like your fruit juice, okay, calamansi juice, watermelon juice, okay, because it is a healthier choice compared to your soda. Remember that your soda is like it has empty calorie. I mean empty calories, which means that it's high in calories but very low or no nutrient at all. Okay, and of course support healthy eating patterns. Okay, so this simply means that everybody has a role to play in executing the dietary guidelines for Americans. Okay, not just the nutritionist or not just your physician, but everyone else. Okay, so let's support each other. Okay, and so that's it for your dietary guidelines. Let's now proceed with America's food guide, which is the My Plate. Okay, so this is the My Plate logo, as you can see. Okay, so My Plate is a reminder to find your healthy eating style and build it throughout your lifetime. And everything you eat and drink matters. The right mix can help you be healthier now and in the future. Okay, so this means focus on variety, amount, and nutrition. Choose foods and beverages with less saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. Start with small changes to build healthier eating styles and support healthy eating for everyone. So basically, it has the same message as your nutritional guidelines, okay, for Americans. However, this one is a teaching tool, okay, so this one is understandable by the general public, okay, so just one glance of your My Plate, you already know the message, or you actually have an idea of what it is trying to say already. Okay, so also they actually have a website for this. Okay, so it is right here. I actually provided you with a link. It's www.choosemyplate.gov. Okay, so if you are going to visit that site, the system will actually like create a plan with individualized calorie levels and specific recommendations for serving amounts from each food group. Okay, so it's very customized and it's a very useful tool if of course you are an American, because this is not quite applicable for us. Okay, so you can try to visit the website. Okay, so and in addition, also the My Plate website provides participants with worksheets, resources, and individualized tools such as the food tracker, physical activity tracker, and weight manager. Okay, so this is actually the website is can actually help you like maintain the lifestyle that you intend to have. Okay, so um, let's proceed. Okay, so if you can remember, before My Plate, there was actually My Pyramid. Okay, however, this one was replaced. Okay, so you might be wondering why it was replaced. Okay, so actually it was replaced because it failed to convey the idea or the message at one glance. Okay, so it's unlike your My Plate that can easily be appreciated by a regular person. Okay, so your My Plate actually is a pictorial representation, and it comes with a plate-shaped icon, as you can see, consisting of four different sections. Okay, so the four sections here are we have the red one, which stands for fruits, and then the green, which stands for the vegetables, and then greens, which is orange, and then purple for your protein, and blue for dairy. Okay, so as you can see, the biggest here is your vegetables. Okay, so there is actually an emphasis on the intake of vegetables for your My Plate food guide. Okay, So let's proceed with the with the classification of foods under my plate. Okay, so you might be wondering why we need to classify or group foods. Okay, so the purpose of the food grouping is to simplify your dietary recommendations. Okay, by focusing on nutrients instead of on food instead of nutrients. Okay, like for instance, if you're a regular person, you don't really know anything about nutrition or the science of it. Okay, so it will be easier for you to try to consume 2 cups of fruit a day instead of um, the 75 milligrams of vitamin C and 25 grams of fiber. Okay, so with the use of your food guide, the DRI is simplified. Okay, so the DRI cannot be used as a teaching tool, but this one, the My Plate, can be used as a teaching tool. Okay, so that is the difference between the DRI and the food guide. Okay, so again, what are the classifications? First, we have the vegetables. Okay, so these are all kinds of dark green, starchy red and orange vegetables in every form. And then we have the fruits, all types of fruits and 100% food juices packed with nutrients like dietary fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and folic acid. Grains. This group consists of foods from whole grains containing bran, endosperm, and germ. And then we have the proteins made up of cut of meat, poultry, and seafood items, and the dairy. So aside from the fluid milk, this group also covers the food made from milk, okay, like your cheese and your yogurt. Okay, so what are the messages of my plate? Okay, so there are actually 7. So first is number 1, find your healthy eating style and maintain it for a lifetime. Okay, so your my plate is it's like a relationship. You need to have like a lifetime commitment with it. Okay, so it's not just a one-time thing. You gotta be consistent. The number 2, make half your plate fruits and vegetables and vary your veggies. Okay, so again, the variety here would ensure that you will be able to get the right amount of nutrients and the varied nutrients, okay, from different foods, because again, you cannot get the nutrients that you need from a single food group. Okay, so or a single food classification. Okay, so that is why we need to vary our vegetables. Okay, and number 3, make half your plate fruits and vegetables. Focus on whole fruits. Okay, so the difference between your whole fruits and your fruit juice is that your whole fruits will actually contain soluble fiber. Okay, and soluble fiber is very essential for your digestive health. That is why whole fruits is much more preferable than your fruit juices or your canned juices. And then number 4, make half your grains whole grains. Okay, so your whole grain contain the entire grain kernel, okay, which is the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. However, your refined grains have been milled and processed, and it actually removes the bran and the germ. Okay, so this is done to give grains a finer texture and improve their shelf life. However, it also removes the dietary fiber, iron, and many B vitamins. Okay, so this is why your whole grains is much more preferable than your refined grains. Okay, it is because of the presence of the dietary fiber and again the iron and the B vitamins. Okay, so number 5 is move to low fat or fat free milk or yogurt. Okay, so the preference now is, of course, the low fat type of milk. Okay, so it's high in nutrients but a little less in calories. Okay, so that is the advantage. And then number 6, vary your protein routine. Okay, so this simply means that we should not get our protein from animal sources only, like your meat and then your poultry. Okay, we should also get from vegetable sources, like your beans and then your legumes. And then number 7, make small changes. Okay, so these small changes will actually add up to big wins. Okay, so like for instance, okay, so like for instance, you decided to like eat your fruits raw, okay, raw and not as a juice. So that is actually just a small change for you, but that could add up to big wins. Okay, so when you are eating whole foods, you are actually eating more fiber, and for that, it will help your digestive system. Okay, so let's proceed with okay, so we're done with the Americans and the Canadians. Let's all proceed to being Filipino again. Um, these are the nutritional guidelines for Filipinos. Okay, so the nutritional guidelines for Filipinos, or NGF, is a set of dietary guidelines based on eating pattern, lifestyle, health status of Filipinos. The NGF contains all the nutrition messages to healthy living for all age group from infants to adults, pregnant and lactating women, and the elderly. Okay, number and then the first NGF released in 1990 was composed of five messages called the Dietary Guidelines for Filipinos. In 2000, a revised nutritional guidelines composed of 10 messages was released, and it was called the Nutritional Guidelines for Filipinos. Okay, so this is just a bit of your history of the NGF. And then in 2012, the technical working group for the revision of the NGF, led by the Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, that is the FNRIDOST, developed a new set of NGF based on the 2000 edition. The 2012 NGF now includes basis and justification for each of the 10 nutritional and health message. Okay, so this one is actually based on survey. Okay, okay, so this is I will discuss to you one by one what are the nutritional guidelines for Filipinos. Okay, so the 2012 NGF now includes basis and justification for each of the 10 nutritional and health message. Okay, so again, the revisions were based on the results of the 2008 National Nutrition Survey, or the NNS survey, conducted by your FNRI and DOST. Okay, so here are the guidelines. Okay, so number one, eat a variety of foods every day to get the nutrients needed by the body. Number two, breastfeed infants exclusively from birth up to 6 months, and then give appropriate complementary foods while continuing breastfeeding for 2 years and beyond for optimum growth and development. Okay, so the nutrition of children, or I mean of infants to toddler, is very important. So the first 1,000 days. Okay, so um, that is a very critical stage for nutrition. Okay, so the kids should be appropriately, or I mean adequately nourished. Okay, the number three, eat more vegetables and fruits to get the essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber for regulation of body processes. And then number four, consume fish, lean meat, poultry, egg, dried beans, or nuts daily for growth and repair of body tissues. Number five, consume milk products, and other calcium-rich foods such as small fish and shellfish every day for healthy bones and teeth. Okay, so just a review of the survey that I mentioned earlier, the NNS survey. So based on the survey, the Filipino household diet fell below the recommended levels except for niacin, which is above the recommended. Furthermore, all nutrients and energy were below the 100% adequacy levels. Okay, so this was actually the basis for your NGF messages number one, okay, and number three, and number four. Okay, so there is no single food that contains all the nutrients that our body needs. So eating a variety of food ensures that daily nutritional needs are met. Okay, so uh, there is actually a similarity between the nutritional guidelines for Filipinos and for Americans. Okay, so because we're we're all humans. Okay, even if they're Americans and we are Filipinos. Okay, so we have almost the same needs, but again, we have to create our own because there is also a difference in our needs. Okay. Okay, so there was also a decrease in consumption of fruits from 77 grams in 2005 to 54 grams in 2008, and also a decrease in milk consumption from 44 grams to 42 grams. Okay, so these were the basis for your message number three, okay, which says eat more vegetables, and then number five, which says consume milk. Okay, so your vegetables are the main sources of vitamins and minerals and fiber, while your milk is a good source of calcium. Number six, consume safe foods and water to prevent diarrhea and other food and waterborne diseases. Okay, so you should ensure that the water you're drinking is safe and it is clean. Okay, otherwise you will have diarrhea. Okay, and it's going to be a bad day for you if in case. And then number seven, use iodized salt to prevent iodine deficiency disorders. Number eight, limit intake of salty, fried, fatty, and sugar-rich foods to prevent cardiovascular diseases. Number nine, attain normal body weight through proper diet and moderate physical activity to maintain good health and help prevent obesity. And then number 10, be physically active, make healthy food choices, and manage stress, avoid alcoholic beverages, and do not smoke to help prevent lifestyle related non-communicable disease. Okay, so what are the basis of these guidelines? Okay, so it has been found that there is a low urinary iodine excretion, and it is still prevalent among pregnant and lactating mothers. Okay, so this actually indicates that there is a low iodine intake. Okay, so as we know, or as you might know, iodine is important during pregnancy because it is needed for the brain development of the infant. Okay, while your lactating mothers must have adequate supply of iodine in their breast milk. Okay, so this is actually uh, the basis of your message number seven, which says use iodized salt to prevent iodine deficiency disorders. Okay, and according to the same survey, the total cholesterol level among Filipino adults increased from 8.5 milligrams per deciliter in 2003 to 10.12 milligrams per deciliter in 2008. Okay, so as we all know, high cholesterol level may be attributed to the high consumption of sodium rich foods by Filipinos. Okay, so if you are going to go to your kitchen, you will see soy sauce and salt. Okay, so these are actually miscellaneous food items used by Filipinos. Okay, so we love salt so much. Okay. In addition, heart disease is ranked first among the causes of death based on the 2005. Okay, so this was actually 15 years ago. So maybe we should renew or revise our NGF already. But nonetheless, okay. So according to that survey, 2005 Department of Health survey, this is okay. So heart disease is still ranks first among the causes of death. Okay, so this is the basis or this is the reason behind number 8 NGF. Okay, which says we should limit our intake of salty, fried, fatty, and sugar-rich foods. Okay, so this actually means no to fast food. Okay, because your fast food is high in salt, it is usually fried, and it is usually fatty and sugary also. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so I love Jollibee, so it's going to be a struggle. Okay, and then excessive intake of salt and soy sauce can result to high blood pressure, especially to salt-sensitive individuals. Persistent high blood pressure can result to cardiovascular diseases. There's also a decreasing trend of physical inactivity among Filipinos, and also a large percentage of Filipino smokers at 31% and drinkers at 26.9%. Okay, so these situations were the basis of your messages number 9 and number 10. Okay, people are actually encouraged to exercise at least 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week, and we are also encouraged to limit our alcohol drinking. Okay, so take note of this. Okay, so limit your alcohol drinking to 1 drink per day for women and 2 drinks for men. Okay, so that is a limitation. Okay, so we're done with the guidelines. Let's now proceed to the um, what they call this, the food guide for Filipinos. Starting off with your we actually have two food guides. Okay, so the first one is the daily nutritional guide pyramid. Okay, so I know you are familiar with this. I think you have learned this in your elementary. Okay, so this is your daily nutrition guide pyramid. Okay, so it is a hierarchy of food groups in person's diet and helps put the dietary guidelines into action. Okay, it is a not a rigid prescription, but simply a general guide that helps people choose the right food for the right amount. Okay, so as you can see right here, we can see the different amounts. Okay, different recommended amounts. The pyramid ranks the food groups according to the amounts to be consumed from the most, which is situated at the base of the pyramid, to the least, which is located at the apex of the pyramid. Okay, so as you can see, okay, so as you can see at the base of the pyramid, what we'll see is the water and beverages. Okay, so we should consume this the most. Okay, and there's actually an emphasis on hydration, and then we should consume the least. Then it is found at the top or at the apex is fats and oils. Okay, so we should only consume 6 to 8 teaspoons. Okay, this is for adults, by the way. Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, so your daily nutritional guide pyramid actually has been tailored and customized so that in such a way that all groups actually has their own pyramid. Okay, so we have one for toddlers, and then another for 7 to 12 years old, and then another for your 13 to 19 years old, and for the adults, and then we have also one for your elderlies. Okay, so as you can see, um, there's no big difference in all the pyramids. Okay, so the hierarchy is still the same. Okay, it's the servings that has changed. Okay, the servings has been changed, but the hierarchy is still the same. And also, if you can observe at the base of the pyramid, there is also a message regarding personal and environmental hygiene. Okay, so what it says is that exercise regularly to maintain and or achieve healthy weight, and limit the use of salty foods, and if you drink alcoholic beverages, limit your intake to not more than 2 glasses a day. So if you can remember, this can also be found in your nutritional guidelines for Filipinos. As you can see, they complement and they coincide with each other. Okay, so we're done with the pyramid. I will not discuss so much about how you can make how you can do meal planning with this one, because that will be covered by your laboratory. Okay, so I will now proceed with your pinggang Pinoy. Okay, so this is just like a Filipino version of the My Plate. Okay, so with pinggang Pinoy, we have the three basic food groups. Okay, so we have the Go. This is the energy giving foods. These are the food sources would be your rice, your root crops, pasta, bread, and other carbohydrate rich foods, which provide energy to support bodily functions and physical activity. Okay, so again, choose whole grains, okay, over refined grains, okay, like your brown rice, corn, whole wheat bread, and oatmeal. Okay, and then grow, which is the bodybuilding or your protein foods. So eat fish, shellfish, lean meat, poultry, and dried beans and nuts needed for growth, maintenance, and repair of body tissues. And then include your fatty fish in the diet like tuna, sardines, mackerel, 2 to 3 times a week to provide fatty acids that help protect against heart disease. Okay, so these are your fatty acids here are good cholesterol. So your fish is a source of good cholesterol. And then consume milk and milk products and other calcium rich food like dillies and small shrimps for strong bones and teeth. And then we have the glow foods. Okay, these are body regulating. Okay, what it says here is you enjoy a variety of fruits and vegetables which are packed with vitamins and minerals and fiber needed for regulation of body processes. And of course, you drink water. Drink lots of water every day for adequate hydration. Limit intake of your sugar sweetened beverages to reduce the risk of obesity and tooth decay. Okay, so from this day on, try not to drink your Coke. Okay, I know some people are addicted to it. Okay, so why is there a need for Pinggang Pinoy when actually we already have our daily nutritional guide pyramid? Okay, so according to research, according to the National Nutritional Survey, there is still a need to improve the DNG's effectiveness with the consumers. Okay, so that is why uh, the Pinggang Pinoy has to exist, okay, or has to come into being. Okay, so DNG has still its utility value because of the recommendations per day. Okay, so DNG, the recommendations are per day, but with Pinggang Pinoy, the recommendations are per meal. Okay, so that is the difference, the main difference between the two. And to ensure that the guidance reflects the latest nutrition science. Okay, so we have the new nutrient standards by the PDRI 2015, the new dietary guidelines NGF 2012, and the food consumption data, that is the NNS 2008. Okay, so your Pingam Pinoy is based on this studies and also based on the research done. Okay, so it's not just it's not like they're doing this for the sake of art. Okay, there is a basis for it. Okay, so this is how your pinggang pinoy looks like. So as you can see, it's so much alike with the my plate. Okay, so pinggang pinoy is a new, easy to understand food guide that uses a familiar food plate model to convey the right food group proportions on a per meal basis to meet the body's energy and nutrient needs of Filipino adults. So as you can see, it's a per meal basis. Okay. The Pinggang Pinoy serves as a visual tool to help Filipinos adopt healthy eating habits at meal times by delivering effective dietary and healthy lifestyle messages. So in addition, the glass is filled with water, okay, so as you can see, to show the importance of hydration. And as you can also see, there is a placemat, okay, and it's made of banig because it represents us Filipino because it is a traditional hand-woven product of the country. And the purpose of this one is to establish a diet to help Filipinos maintain and even improve overall health and reduce the risk of diet related diseases. Okay, so like your hypertension, diabetes mellitus. Okay, so these are diet related. Okay, and it is directed to the healthy Filipino, which means that it is not directed for the treatment of diseases or individuals with medical problems. Okay, so those people with medical problems um, have different nutritional needs. Okay, so you cannot use this for them. Okay, so it will be like you can't use this usually you can't use this in a clinical setting or in a hospital setting because most people there are actually sick with a disease. However, you can use this in maybe in a community setting, okay, while you are providing health teachings to a group of people. Okay, so here is the components of your pinggang pinoy. Okay, so 17% must come from your fish and alternatives, other proteins that is, and then 33% from rice and its alternatives, and 33% from vegetables, and 17% for fruits. Okay, and also, like your food pyramid, the Pinggang Pinoy has also been customized based on age groups. Okay, so we have one for the kids, for the teens, for the adults, for the older persons, and for pregnant and lactating women. Okay, So if you have visited the FNRI website, okay, so you will see this one. Okay, so these are actually infographics, and you can actually use this if you are intending to like give a health teaching to a client or a patient. Okay, so uh, as you can see there, there's already okay, so there is already a recommendation. Okay, there's already a message of how they're going to execute this one. And then this is the second page. Oops, that is the second page. Okay, so there is an instruction as to how you are going to fill up your plate. Okay, okay, so there is already a recommendation like for this one, for the go foods, this is the amount or the serving that you can give, and for the grow foods there is the amount. Okay, okay, and this is for adults. Okay, so this is the sample meal plan per day. Okay, so as you can see, with every plate, all the food groups are already there. Yeah, we have the go, the grow, and the glow. Yes, and of course your water. Mhm. And they also actually have infographics for the adults, for the teens, and for the elderly. Okay, so that could be very helpful for you if you are intending to give health teachings. So I would just want to show to you how the plate looks like across the ages. Okay, so with the kids, the serving size becomes bigger as the kid gets older. Okay, so as you can see, with the fish, okay, so it was just half a fish, and then when the kid turns 10 to 12, it's already the whole fish, and the slice of the fruit also changed. Okay, as for the teens, they have bigger servings compared to adults, okay? Because we have to support their growth spurt. As for the adults to elderly, the protein recommendations are the same, but the energy recommendations are decreasing, okay? So as you can see, like this one, with the adult male, he would need 1.5 cup of rice. But as he gets older, okay, he would need only a cup of rice. Okay, this is because our what they call this, our metabolism is getting slower. Okay, so that is why we don't need much calories anymore when we are older. And for the lactating, of course, they have higher intake recommendations compared to the adult females. Okay, so a pregnant and a lactating mother would need 1.5 cup of rice. Okay, so that's it. So I guess that's it for Pinggang Pinoy. Let me proceed to the food composition tables. Okay. Okay, so here is so what is a food composition table? Okay, so your food composition table and databases are considered important to nutrition tools which provide information on the chemical and nutritional composition of foods. Okay, so they are widely used by users in variety of areas like nutrition, public health surveys, nutrition education, dietetics, clinical practice, nutritional epidemiology, agricultural research, food regulation, and consumer action programs. Okay, so I'd like to show you an example. Okay, so example of a food composition database from the Philippines is this one. Okay, so it's from the FNRI, DOST. So this is the website actually of the. Okay, so we are now at the database. Okay, so we just have to like type in the food that you would want to research, like for instance, burger or your cheeseburger. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, so this is the food composition of your burger. So you can see here an actual cheeseburger, a picture of an actual cheeseburger. So this is the food composition per 100-gram edible portion. Okay, so as you can see, it has water of 47.5 grams. Okay, so this is the overall composition of the food. Okay, and you can also see here the minerals of the food. Okay, and the vitamins. Okay, so as you can see, if you are an actual like food researcher, this website can actually be very helpful to you. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so the US also have their own website. Okay, so let's see how their website looks. Okay, so it's here. It's the database. It's their database. Okay, so for instance, you would want to know the food composition of what we call this, like a cake. Let's see. Okay, so you could actually see here different brands. Okay, so let's just see one. Okay, okay, so you can see here um, the nutrients available for a cake. Okay, so the energy, the protein, the carbohydrates, the fibers there. Also, the other vitamins are here. Okay, and even the ingredients of that particular cake is here. Okay, so okay, so that was the website of USDA for their food composition. Okay, so that's it for food composition tables. Let's now proceed with the food exchange list. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so exchange lists provide detailed information about the nutrients in many foods and beverages. They are designed to help manage diabetes, weight management, cardiovascular risk reduction, and general healthy eating. When used knowledgeably, exchange lists help ensure balance and moderation. Okay. Okay. So with the food exchange list, foods are listed under seven main groups. Okay, so we have the rice. Okay, so actually this is based on the Filipino exchange list. Okay, so if you are going to look at the exchange list of the Americans, what you will see there is that there is no rice. Okay, so since we are Filipinos, there should be rice. Okay, rice and then meat, milk, vegetables, fruits, fats, and then sugar. Okay. However, if this is a diabetic exchange list, the sugar will not be there because it is not recommended for their diet. Okay. Okay. So one portion of a particular food called an exchange, okay, is approximately equal in calories and in amount of a protein, fat, and carbohydrates to foods in the same group. They also contain more or less similar amounts of vitamins and minerals. Okay, so like for instance, your two slices of bread and your one half cup of rice, they since they belong in the same rice group, they will have the same calories, okay, and amount of protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Okay, food in any group can be substituted or exchanged with other foods in the same group, although the sizes of serving portion may not be the same. Okay, so there's actually a list for this one. Like so for example, your one piece of galonggong cannot be can be substituted for one piece of tenderloin because they belong to the same meat group. Okay, foods in one group, however, cannot be traded for foods in another group. Okay, like for instance, your galunggong still cannot be substituted for two slices of bread, okay? Because um, galunggong is in the wheat group, okay, and your rice is in, I mean, in your bread is in the rice group, okay. So this is how it looks. I mean, this is just a table of your calories. Okay, so and this is the exchange list. Okay, so we have vegetable A, vegetable B, fruits, milk, rice, and then a meat, and then a fat, and then a sugar. Okay, so for your vegetable B, okay, what we'll see here is that one exchange is equivalent to 3 grams of carbohydrates and 1 gram of fat. 1 gram of protein. Okay, so if you are going to compute this, that would be equal to 16 kilocalories. Okay, so for vegetable A, by the way, is negligible if it is only one exchange. But if there are two exchanges, it will be equivalent to your vegetable B. Okay, so for your fruits, you have 10, 10 grams of carbohydrates. Okay, so I just multiplied this by 4. That is why this is equivalent to 40 kilocalories. Okay, so I won't like dwell on this so much because actually, if you are working in the hospital, this is a meal plan is not part of a nurse's job description. So this is actually a dietitian's job description, and your food exchange list has been really used. Okay, has been actually used by your dietitians in the hospital. Like when my brother was admitted, and he actually had a heart surgery a year ago, and when he was discharged, the dietitian used the food exchange list, okay, for his meal planning. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will just leave you with this quote: good nutrition will prevent 95% of all diseases. And I think this is very much true. Thank you so much again, and have a great day. Bye bye.